Welcome, Gunrunner.
A chance of a lifetime. Sure, when's the last time you had an opportunity to win a pound of gold worth over $6,000? For the 5 finalists in Odyssey's Pickaxe Pete contest at the World's Fair, it was serious business. Before the match, some warmed up to help ease the tension, and then the race for gold began.
Get ready, get set, get picking.
Contestants were flown in from all over the country for the extravaganza. Yes, even Pickaxe Pete himself showed up to help. It was a close race, closer than many expected. But 10-year-old Tony Scardino came out on top. Do you have a style? Do you have a way that you go about doing this?
Yeah, all it is to do is get onto the left side of the screen on the top and just jump boulders, get the key, and go into the door.
Ah, but fame did not go to the young boy's head. Or did it? What about your friends? Do they feel good about you winning or what?
They don't even know yet.
They don't know. What are you going to do? How are you going to tell them? You're going to call them?
No, I'm not even going to tell them.
You're not going to tell them?
No.
Why not?
I don't want them because they'll bother me.
However, once down away from the hustle and bustle of the crowds, the kid from Weehawken, New Jersey, got a chance to call home.
Hello, Ma? Yeah? I won.
Ah, nuts. This game is tough. I guess that's why Tony gets the big money. Mike Graham, Action 10 News.
To start this story off, we really need to return to the very start of the home gaming market. In fact, the very first home console, the Magnavox Odyssey. Developed by the godfather of gaming himself, the one and only Ralph Baer, the Magnavox Odyssey would be unleashed on an unsuspecting audience in 1972. The console featured a strange paddle-like controller and could play a series of interchangeable games. I don't use the term cartridges because they didn't actually feature any ROM chips or indeed any code. These modules contained a series of switches and jumpers that changed the circuit in the console itself to play a different type of game. These games were all incredibly simple and didn't feature things like enemy AI, scoring or even any kind of colour. Screen overlays and extra items within the box such as dice and cards would help bring these games to life.
What does your family do on those stay indoors rainy afternoons or on those cold blustery winter days? Families who are content to let television do its thing often find themselves at its mercy for a choice of entertainment, while people who want television to do their thing entertain themselves with Odyssey, the electronic game of the future and the family's best foul-weather friend. Odyssey can be attached to any brand television receiver with a screen size of 18 to 25 inches, either black and white or color. And an ordinary screwdriver is the only tool needed to attach this Odyssey antenna game switch to the antenna terminals on the back of the television set. Once the antenna game switch is attached, you can select the TV position for regular television viewing or the game position for playing your favorite Odyssey game. Odyssey is played through an unused VHF channel of your television set and operates on 6 common-size C-cell batteries which come packed with the unit. Simply connect the game cord to the antenna game switch on the back of the set and to the master control unit. And plug the player control unit cords into their respective sockets on the master unit. And your Odyssey is ready to begin entertaining your family. Each Odyssey game uses one of these special game cards, which plug into a slot at the front of the master control unit. The game cards activate lights on your television screen that bounce, float, or extinguish on contact, depending upon the particular game you've chosen to play. For example, to play Odyssey Tennis, you insert game card number 3 into the master unit. This activates 3 lights, 2 representing the players and 1 representing the ball. Press the special tennis game overlay into position on the television screen and you're ready to begin an exciting, fast-paced tennis game. The horizontal knob on the left side of each player control unit allows you to move your player light in a left to right or right to left direction. The vertical knob on the right side of each player control unit lets you move your player light in an up and down direction. And the reset buttons on top of each player control unit bring the ball back into play should it happen to go off the court. After you've learned the basics of the game, you can increase the challenge of Odyssey Tennis by increasing or decreasing the speed of the tennis ball with a special speed control on the back of the master unit. And when you want to razzle-dazzle your opponent into submission, a special English control, which fits inside the horizontal knob, will make that tennis ball do everything but stand up and talk. 12 different and exciting games come with your Odyssey, each following the same basic play procedures. In addition to Odyssey table tennis, other sport games include hockey, football, and skiing. For the youngsters in the family, there's cat and mouse, haunted house, and Simon Says. Rounding out your Odyssey game series are such challengers as Submarine, Roulette, Analogic, and Geography. Each Odyssey game comes complete with all equipment necessary for play, whether it's one of the 12 standard games or one of several optional games, which include a special shooting gallery, complete with gun and 4 target overlays. Depending on your hunting skills, you can choose between sitting or moving targets. Also available as an option is this special organizer case with separate compartments designed to hold all games and equipment. It makes setup a breeze and storage or moving of your Odyssey unit sheer pleasure. Odyssey can be many things to your family: fun, excitement, entertainment, challenge, and education. Why not take one home with you today? It's available only from the Magnavox salesman in the store. Odyssey, the electronic game of the future that lets you do your own thing on television, and only from Magnavox.
The Magnavox Odyssey sold moderately well, with sales exceeding 350,000 units, proving that there was a market for such devices. This persuaded Fairchild to then release the Fairchild Channel F in 1976, the first console with proper interchangeable game cartridges, closely followed by Atari with the Video Computer System in 1977. I think we all know how that system changed the industry forever. This turned Magnavox, and indeed their parent company, Dutch electronics giants Philips, from industry innovators to playing catch-up, as they saw Atari take control of the marketplace they originally created. So in 1978 they launched the Magnavox Odyssey 2, which would be known as the Philips Video Pack G7000 in Europe, to compete with the 2600 VCS and other new consoles arriving on the market. Unlike the original model, the Odyssey 2 would feature a proper CPU, colour graphics, sound, and the ability to use interchangeable ROM cartridges. In a point of difference from Atari's machine, it also sported a simple membrane keyboard, so Philips could market the machine as a computer hybrid with educational benefits too.
I am a Philips video game. Are you skillful enough to navigate in the depths of hyperspace and outfight a constant stream of alien spacecraft? You will need to be deadly accurate and have lightning reactions. Freedom Fighters. One of a cluster of new video games. From Philips.
By 1983, Philips had already sold over 2 million units of both the Odyssey 2 and Video Pack, and the console had also gained the support of third-party publishers such as Imagic and Parker Brothers, who supported the machine with conversions of popular arcade games such as Frogger and Q*bert. Behind the scenes, Philips had already been working on a follow-up console that would not only be backwards compatible, but also feature state-of-the-art, well for the time anyway, hardware with high-resolution backgrounds and sprites, as well as a host of other new features. This console will be called the VideoPack G7400 in Europe, and most unsurprisingly, the Odyssey 3 in North America.
Odyssey is about to change the name of the game. Witness the launch of the Odyssey Command Center. A totally new precision keyboard with fingertip command over all keyboard functions for increased play value and computer and terminal expansion. Hand controls contoured to fit comfortably in the palm of the hand. Hand controls that store inconvenient spaceports out of the way, but never far away. Command Center. It's a whole new game with high-resolution graphics that fill the screen with a blaze of colorful action. Enter, if you dare, the forbidden dimension of Spyrus the Deathless, Time Lord of Chaos, as awesome armadas pursue you through a newly created time warp in eternity. Each attack more intense, more dangerous, more difficult to repel. The Command Center delivers greatly improved graphic treatments of several current game favorites, like baseball, now with playing field details and dugouts. Pickaxe Pete, fast-paced action in the Misty Mountain mine, rich in new graphic detail. And Freedom Fighters, the Pulsar Empire's deep space confinement was never more ominous. Couple a new voice module to the Odyssey Command Center and add exciting voice and enhanced sound effects directly through the speaker and volume control on your TV. Over 50 current game cartridges work in the Command Center. Many Command Center series games will work with existing Odyssey 2 mainframes. A whole new game that protects the current game. A masterful marketing stroke of far-reaching and profitable proportions. Dock the Odyssey Command Center modem into the expansion port. Add a telephone and data network subscription. And transform Command Center into a home computer terminal. Providing access to encyclopedia memory banks as a homework helper. Business and financial reports as an investment guide. Worldwide news sources as information center. Also planned for the Command Center system is a computer programming module that expands the uses of the standing keyboard to the expectations of tomorrow. Basic programming capability with optional mass storage packs for program and data retention. Watch for the intercontinental launch of the Odyssey Command Center, to be seen and heard in the news around the world as no other Odyssey product introduction before it.
Roger, Command Center. Command Center, you are go for staging. Command Center, looking good.
New from Odyssey, the Command Center. Now, it's a whole new game.
But anyone who knows their video game history will be well aware of something else much bigger that happened in 1983. The North American video game crash. This decimated the market for consoles and games in Magnavox's home territory, and the Odyssey 2 very much became one of the first casualties of that. However, over in Europe, VideoPack sales were still going strong for Philips, so they decided to plough on regardless, concentrating all support for the system on their own territory.
I am a Philips video board game. Dare you enter my infernal infernos where the deadly Spydroth Tarantulas lurks, or attempt to survive with an unmerciful dragon that breathes fire on all living flesh? You will require expert skills and exceptional strategic thinking. The quest for the rings, one of the new species of video games. from Philips.
Although the Magnavox Odyssey 3 had already been previewed to the press at the 1983 CES show, the decision was made to cancel it just before it was set to go into full-scale production. However, the European release continued as planned, where it was named the Philips G7400. You can see from the specs on the screen that the Odyssey 3 offered several upgrades over the original model, while remaining backwards compatible. In fact, it would have been the very first backwards compatible console released in North America, a step Atari took just a year later with the release of the 7800 Pro system. Other enhancements that were promised but never came to fruition were a proper computer-style keyboard, joystick holders, and an enhanced sound module. Although these hardware improvements brought it more in line with the likes of the Atari 2600 and the Intellivision, it was well behind other newly released consoles such as the ColecoVision and Atari 5200. This is likely to be another reason for its cancellation.
A Wizard of Odyssey. What video game are you up to now?
Oh, I'm up to my eyeballs in a mine shaft with Odyssey 2's new video game, Pickaxe Pete. Big Pete, escape up the ladder, smash the boulders. Now, grab the elusive key to go! On the keyboard lets you change mazes to make the mine shaft even more menacing. Pickaxe Pete from Odyssey 2, where the keyboard is the key to greater challenge.
Buy an Odyssey 2 now and get $82 worth of free games, including Pickaxe Pete.
While the original version of the Philips video pack had been moderately successful in Europe, the new version very much wasn't. By 1983, most European consumers were moving on to home computers such as the ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64, and the G7400 offered no discernible advantages over either. Only 3 G7400 specific games were ever released: Trans-American Rally, Norseman, and Helicopter Rescue. There were also a further 6 titles released that were enhanced when played on the new machine, in the form of Terrorhawks, Race, Stone Sling, Satellite Attack, Freedom Fighters, and Pickaxe Pete. Another game, Flashpoint, was due to be bundled with the North American Odyssey 3, and was shown off to the press but for some unknown reason never made it over to Europe. This has thankfully been recovered and released on cartridge in more recent years. So there you have it. While the Odyssey 3 never made it out the door, the European version of the machine very much did, and remains one of only a few European exclusive consoles. The Odyssey 3 certainly wasn't the end of Philips' flirtations in the console industry, however, as you'll probably already know, but that's a story for another day. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, then please consider visiting my Patreon and making a pledge. You'll even get access to a host of exclusive content there too. I've been the Retro Laird. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.